We're back here at Financial Services Center with Grant Corley. You know, Grant, you talk a lot about retirees and pre-retirees being the chief executive officer of the retirement, right?
Yep.
So what does that mean exactly?
Yeah, so when you're the chief executive officer of your retirement, it means that you're responsible for ensuring your company's retirement success. You know, as the CEO of your retirement company, we believe it's important you do a couple things. One, you surround yourself with the right people. Those are financial advisors, attorneys, CPAs, but you also plan for the years ahead.
So what is it important for people to be aware of today?
Well, you know, there's quite a few things, obviously, to be aware of going into retirement. Last time we got together, we talked about how to meet your short, intermediate, and long-term needs and how to position your money appropriately for those. Today, though, we're going to focus on two topics, and it's never a better time than the new year to get your financial house in order. So we've got two items. One, reducing the cost of your debt interest, but then second, also making sure that you set up for yourself a successful retirement budget.
So how can somebody save interest on their outstanding debt?
Yes, we've got a couple ideas in regards to that. You know, maybe you're somebody walking into retirement that doesn't have any debt at all. And that's a wonderful and admirable place to be. But that's not everybody. Maybe you have a home loan outstanding, auto loans, maybe some student debt that you're paying on. Here's a couple things that you can do to make sure that while you're paying off your debt, you're paying back as little as possible to the person you're borrowing from. The first is have you refinanced lately? Rates have come up a little bit recently, especially on homes, but they're still at historical lows. So a good rule of thumb would be if your interest on your home is 1% higher than what current interest rates are, it might be a wise time to start thinking about refinancing and reducing the cost. The second thing you should consider is, do I have equity in my home? You can consolidate your outstanding debt. Maybe you have 2 auto loans and some student debt. Utilize the equity in your home to consolidate, reduce the cost of interest, and that way you can repurpose that money for other priorities or putting it towards saving for retirement.
Talk a little bit about budget, right? We hear that word and we're like, oh boy.
Yeah, so it's oftentimes maybe a little bit of a nerve-wracking thing, but it doesn't have to be, right? Oftentimes when people enter in retirement, they have a pretty basic understanding of what's coming in and what's going out. But if you're listening to this segment and you're a pre-retiree and you haven't done that, this portion's for you. So we've got a couple quick tips on setting up a successful retirement budget. The first would be is utilize technology to your advantage. Maybe you're a pen and paper person and that's the way that you keep your budget, but there are things on your computers, on apps that you can utilize to keep track of your cash flow. Things like youneedabudget.com, mint.com, personalcapital.com. You can use all of these to keep track of cash flow coming in and what's going out so that you know what you're walking into retirement. Secondly, when you go into retirement, test drive your budget before you get there. We test drive cars. Whenever you get into a pool, you dip your toe in the water first. A year before you retire, test drive your retirement budget to make sure it's going to work for you. That way you walk into retirement confident.
All right, very important question here. If people are like, you know, I need to get a hold of you, how can we do that? How can we get the process started?
Yeah, so you can visit fscfsa.com. You can schedule a 15-minute consultation there. Also, you can call us at 502-426-6577, and we can set up some time to sit down and talk together.
All right, thank you, Grant.
Yep.